Hello everyone, this is Ailey Merch, and within this video, I want to preview to you a project that I did recently for my customer, and their brand is called Elite Cruising and Tours, and they are located in Australia and Sydney. And so I decided to do this thing and evaluate my own projects that I'm working recently. And maybe familiar, if you haven't yet saw my YouTube channel, I start to do this category of brand and design evaluation series. And what I do under this category is that I'm selecting products or projects or brands that I believe well done and professionally done, and I'm fond of them. So what I do, I take them and break them down based on the website, but I'm evaluating them through free expertise areas that I'm holding and serving my customers with more than 7 years already. So it's a brand identity interface design and web development. So I decided to do also, because I have showreel that previews all my work done before the project that I'm going to show you right now, Elite Cruising and Tours. Now what I'm going to be doing is I will be taking project that I'm working and I'll be doing the same thing but for myself. So I'll be previewing here my project for my client. And I did this project in all those free areas. And because I'm holding expertise more than 7 years of all these free areas, sometimes I manage to do unique thing and interchange like hybrid approach and sometimes even relatively reverse engineering. So if I'm holding actually and going through all three phases for my client, I do manage to skip many steps that are not necessary if I'm actually taking the control of all of them. So sometimes I can be do reverse engineering, jumping from design to code or from brand identity into interface design and forward. And then once I see we agreed on branding or interface design, I will hang out in the code and sometimes going backwards and forward if I need to. And of course, always I say that the whole measure is business goals and user needs. That's why I'm always bridging the gap. So we have a lot of conversations with my customer. And so what I want to do is I'm real shortly just going to show you how a website looked like before. So this is what they had. And it was pretty simple because this was done by themselves. They tried how to organize their content. And eventually what I do take that website. I took this website and I did the video for them, video record, and evaluate the website and give them some observations and recommendations. That's how we started to work because a lot of stuff to improve. That's what happens. So you can see this is the previous look and feel. The whole website is actually like that, just dark black and imagery and text. There's a lot of poor hierarchy and poor navigation, and responsiveness also was suffering. So what we did is improved it totally, and that's how you see. You see, we did brand identity development as well as the design and responsive code, and I'll be also showing you how it looks like within the platform. For coding, I'm using Webflow. We'll not be going for the Figma. I'm using Figma for design and Webflow for coding. And here will be more speaking from code. And also content management system, CMS, was something interesting to play with. And responsiveness is the most important thing, the professional way of using right units for measure in order to keep everything responsive. Now, let's go back to the website itself. And here we see actually my copy of the website that remains on my account. Only for the sake of some elements I adapted to chef's choice, so to say, to designer's choice. For example, this photography. Nevertheless, feel free to go and check Elite Cruising and Tours website, .com.au, or just AU, and you'll find the website itself, and you'll find some small changes different from what I chose to keep for myself. And it doesn't mean that their version is bad. It actually speaks accordingly to the customer and according to themselves, and I'm really happy to achieve that with them. Nevertheless, I'm always leaving my own copy with corrections to myself that I think would be better to go with. Now, I will be going here shortly, so this will be not that long review. So you can see here, the whole idea is to have bronze color and golden flavor of travel elite. So we're trying to achieve the elite flavor. And also we know that our customer is a big part of a customer of this brand is ladies. And it's a more luxurious approach towards the traveling. And the target audience is also Australian, travel around the world. So, and they have different categories. They have cruising, they have stays in hotels and tours. And I give the nature feeling and the culture, as well as some kind of tropical and leisure of lady, and the cruise for the sake of complementing the content. Now you can see the whole thing is about contact them, and call to action is to call them. And logos, this is the initial logo. There was also naturally sometimes happens that I'm evolving some kind of alternative logo, and I offer that sometimes as a gift, sometimes as a charge. And even though this logo is they love it, but the good measure of success of the logo choice is to check with your current customers. That's what we did. They asked a couple customers what they think, and the experience is that this is more personal. This is something more relatable to their customer audience. And we decided to stick with this. And it's a good choice. It still looks beautiful. I think it's an amazing choice. Whatever, one or another. This looks more as a big organization, much more luxurious and solid, and maybe even with a flavor of masculinity. This one is more with an approach of kind of Instagramian travel, ease of personal experience, and more flavor of a lady touch and ease. So that makes sense. Nevertheless, it's interesting to have. So for the sake of my version, I do collect all 3 categories. This is the text, how it looked like for the elite cruising in tours. This is the menu of the secondary logo alternative, and the first one is this one. On their version, we're using only this logo type. Now, you can see we're going with a black charcoal color and gold and browns to the degree and white. And then we develop for the category. So what I also want to say before we're going further really quickly is that the whole thing on this website is just those subtleties, those small interactive responsive elements that bring life, professional, trustworthy look and feel for this brand. You can see this arrow is indicating down. If you hover over this element, is following cursor. These things seems like not necessary, but they are giving unique touch and life and compelled to go through. Now, also, if you have checked my previous YouTube, what I want to say is that I have validated Polestar website and their branding and the code, and I was in love with their side menu. So what I decided for this project, because this project was on my way to work upon, I decided to use and recreate that menu for this project, and I used Polestar as a reference. It was fun to build these things. You can see, however, these titles subtly moving and highlighting, and everything you see on this website is done by me. And so the thing is, we also had the subcategories. The initial idea was to have subcategories for cruises and tours. So there was arrow, and if you would click arrow, it will open to third. And you can see it's already predicting the mobile version, and I'll be showing you a responsiveness in time. So, but we decided not to go with sub pages for these 2 categories because that will be overwhelming in content-wise for users, because call to action is quite straightforward. So it was a great idea that we stayed only with pages of those, and there will be no arrows to open the 2/3. But there's a way to do that if we would like to, because I already did encoded that. Anyways, so that was fun to build a side menu. And when we go through, so we have categories. You can see if I open menu, we go in order. You can see cruises. We go further, it's tours. So we'll run through main categories and everything else accordingly. We select the color code. For cruises is marine. For tours is wood, stay is aqueous and desert-like groups, and elite extras is dark. Then we have discover more. Again, imagery was quite a challenge to select. It's always taking time to make a right choice to be on brand and consistent. So we have blog to read. We invite them to read a blog, travel essentials, service fees. I'll show you some service fees a little bit in brand and the blogging also. And basic things, my book with elite cruising and tours. Iconography is also unique to present. And these things like Google reviews, this is content management system also. So my client can actually create another testimonial if they want to without me in editor mode. The same with the team. So here, for example, on their website, of course, they have their own imagery. But for my version, I left those that I have had as a reference because they had poor photography in the beginning. So my recommendation was to take photo shooting for themselves and use these references. For example, Belinda would say, hey, go with her sitting in front of a computer, maybe having a coffee, and that could be a great reference for the photo shooting. So that's what I also advise for my customer. And this is their choice if they want to go with that professional higher degree, or they're okay with what they have. So, and here also, I feel like the color and the flavor of tourism and elite experience looks like this could be a good direction. Nevertheless, it's totally customer choice. My responsibility is to give observation and recommendation and to make sure that it's on brand and aesthetically pleasing. Now, this is also content management system, and I'll be talking in a second. I'll be showing that. So there's a custom code to the degree there. So my customer can actually, let's say, create the third member in the editor, and that third member, for example, or fourth, let's say third, first and third, and so on, every second, so to say. The photography of the first and third will be on the left, and every even will be on the right, and every even member will have green, and here will be browns. So this is custom management system automation that done with custom code, content management automation that is done with relatively custom code, and there are many things that can be manipulated that way. But it's great to give my customer, my client, opportunity to in editor just to add another member, and everything will be done in accordance. It's the power behind CMS. So contact us and about us, some imagery of inspiration, subscription, and footer. So, and these subtle things, as I mentioned, you hover over, the icon become bigger and zoom in smooth, and everything else becomes opaque, so you understand where you focus upon. Again, this is interactions, and knowing code, knowing Webflow, it's easy to build when you know how to build it. But if you don't know it, you might spend a lot of time and headache to figure it out. So there's also expertise that I'm holding in all three areas, is time saving and actually complementary, very powerful in saving time and money, and make fun and achieve interesting results, especially with custom code play eventually. That's what Webflow allows, actually, to play with a custom code and control pixel perfect design that I built in Figma, and with respect to my branding identity that I deliver. So let's go to this is the homepage. So I will be going later a little bit for all of them, but now I want to show you how it looks like in the Webflow a little bit, and the whole focus is on the responsiveness. So, and the mobile device. So actually you can check it on a mobile device or any other device. It will look accordingly. And what I like to say that what I played most is to use RIDE units for anything. So EM, that's a great way to go with. So, and connect everything, again, knowing how to connect, like just changing one main parameter of the text that can control the whole sizing instantly in seconds. At the same time, width also. So I'll be showing you the responsiveness. So right now we're in a mid-screen standard. So if I'll like squeeze it lower, you can see that the title becomes responsive. So we controlling this title size in respect to the screen width. So screen width dictates the height of that text. And when we break point to the tablet, you can see things, of course, responding accordingly. We go further into the mobile version and landscape, and then we go to the portrait, and that's it. That's just responsive and always. Same with imagery, of course. Here they're stacking vertically, but if we go further, still stacking vertically until we get to the tablet mode, and it'll become horizontal layout. That's important. And also, if you go bigger into the bigger screen than the MacBook Pro, let's say, into the station screen, and even bigger, this always will be, because this height of this image is actually the width of specific number of width of this element. So it's always in the same size, whatever you do. Let me show you. So when we're stretching, it's just, you see, it's just responding all the time accordingly. So everything is predicted. Also the how long the title can be for some reason, and everything is possible to edit by my customer, by my client. Go to the editor and change the text, change the image. And so with the mobile version, it's pretty clear. So what I want to also just say is about content management system, CMS, is, for example, team members. Again, like if you want to bring the new member, for example, and this a little bit can be complicating for those who don't know the coding to the degree. So we have two members. We can create a new member. If I'll create the third new member, it will appear under this category with the image on the left with the browse lines. So that's great control for my customer. What else I can say? Let's go to the preview further, and maybe let's go to stays, let's say. And that'll be one of the categories. And again, it's the same image. Stays was with this lady in the background, so it's memorable, recognizable. So the whole thing is to get inspired, because everything will take them to contact us, and we want them to get inspired and know what categories they have, what benefits they have. And for example, city stays, beach breaks, and so on. So we have these images, and again, client can change those images, and we just go and get inspired them. And we also put the partners, so that a lot of partners that are my customer is working, partnering, or presenting, and it's also a good proof. And it's always call to action, ready to travel. We're always keeping the Google reviews. We're always keeping the same line of inspiration and subscription as well as footer. And we always want them to contact us. So we can go through all these. Let's go to Elite Extras. Now, Elite Extras is something a little bit different. Unlike anything, again, we have these interesting also pop-up, some benefits that are always included, and then some benefits that you can go through every specific brand that we include. And again, brands of this category. If we go to Elite Insights, which is blog, which is quite exciting, read our blog. So it was interesting to build. So you see, this has a unique approach. We have this extra menu that will be sticky. You see, if we scroll further, it sticks and follows us. And the whole thing, there was also a play with attributes and custom code. So what I did is that I can find, for example, India, and I just know because we have. Because I have one blog with India. So the point is, I made this field to be as a search. So anything you type, anything that posts, it is also CMS. So any word is present in the blog, we're going to find it, and I'm going to show you how much you found out of total. And these are also categories. You can go back also. That's convenient. So you have too much, for example, I'm going to delete. You can see as a sample, and it's just 3 examples that as dummies that I build. And so we can go back. But the thing is, you can see they have categories, for example, useful insights, product and product. So if I, for example, click useful insights, that's the filtering right away. So instead of building sub pages for the blog of different categories, I'm having one page and it's just filter based. If actually that's really convenient and quick, and it's a little bit rethinking the blogging and not going the standard. It's relatively unique, and I really like it. And there will be a lot of, again, if there will be 6 or more, it will be showing button load more. So it's also attribute custom code to the degree, and that's the content management system. So my customer is capable just to go and write a blog, and everything is great. So if I click destination, you see we just have one example out of 3 post destination. Again, a mobile version also. It's responsive and it's well done. So if I go to continue reading this, it will go, of course, to the blog, and image is relatable. We have this scroll down. We have back to the Elite Insights, and just highlight of the. By the way, can you click? Good. Cannot. So you can scroll down and read the whole blog. And this is also dummy for my client to know how to use it, and they're just gonna use it and write themselves. So back to Elite Insights, or you can go back to Elite Insights here and read our blog posts, and everything is just really quick and easy. And then you can go back to any categories, to home, or to, this is where we are. So we're going to go to Travel Essentials. Under Travel Essentials, this is also beautiful, a little bit different flavor, but also the selection of imagery was quite a thing to choose. And here you see color is matching the image, and the text is descriptive. And they just do, these airfares, travel insurances, activities and experiences, and car hire and motor homes. And always below is the same thing. Let's see, service fee is also, it's not a big of a deal, but it's also important, unique aesthetics that, every element, every detail, I'm not ignoring, even privacy policy we'll see. So this is also just hover over, just bumps out. And that's subtle thing, interactive thing that is not necessary. And I don't really need to do it because I'm already reusing the same interaction for some elements, but it does give living subtleties. And it's also aesthetical, even though small text, I care for consistency and beauty. And in this case, we're also repeating some benefits and so on. Now, what do we have there? Service fees, about us. And before going to about us and contact us, I want to show terms and conditions or privacy and policy. And this is the same. I do like aesthetics. I don't like the simplicity. I do want every page to be respected of your brand. And even these things are beautiful with this marine line and golden touch and bumping points. So that's something I value and believe it should be going fully complete rather than skipping and saying, well, it's just privacy policy, who cares? But it's not something I think is a good way to do. Now, about us, it will be repetitive good text, but now we have team members here, but it's expanded version and also arrange an appointment, but they have their facts. So it's also under the CMS. So my customer can go to the editor and change those numbers effortlessly and a link to the arranging an appointment. Contact us. So everything takes them to contact us wherever they are. They get inspired for the old categories, what kind of categories, what kind of partners, what to expect. Maybe they want to read a blog and learn more. They can see what else extras they can get, what's to expect to pay as a fee, who's at service. Maybe you want to make an appointment specific out of them, and then maybe you want to know legal things. Maybe you want to right away call them and contact them, but contact us is the whole thing that is the end call to action ending. So we go through the contact us. They can call us by the phone. They can arrange an appointment, or they can just directly text us here the whole information, choosing by phone, by email, text, and the whole thing. And or read FAQs. It's also a content management system, so my customer can easily add any question without a designer, and it will look exactly beautiful as it should be. And yeah, it's also quite clever, quite beautiful. You click and it opens up, and those subtleties are bringing life to this website. That's it with this website. I showed you also the kitchen, so what is inside with the responsiveness. I will not be going for the whole thing. This is the smallest size that you expect with the mobile version, and that's it, I guess. That's what I wanted to present. I'm really happy with this result, and I must say there's always space to improve. Much more things to be done, even better. But this is great results. I couldn't say anything else. So it's much more better than it was, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see my customer being out in the market and using this. As already hearing some good feedback from partners, from customers, and it's exciting. It's exciting to bring that result for them. That's it, guys. This was Alien Merge with you. I hope this was informative about the project. I see that everything is well done, and I can go deeper and talk about every detail of opacitive frost effect and so on, how it's done. But this is something, if someone is interested in coding, if someone is interested in design or branding, freely inform me, and I'll be happy to go deeper in explanation and maybe breaking down. And that's it. Take care, guys. Chat to you later and enjoy.